Hey folks, hey, welcome in Ripbeard. Good to see you as well. We are still here in Coastal Highway, but we've got to get out of here soon. We grabbed all our stuff. A little bit heavy, but let's do what we can to get going. Oh, did we ever go up? I don't think we ever went up and checked out the plane crash. Maybe we did. Anyways, we should just get going. Let's not waste time.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Yeah, I saw the dev diary. It's pretty exciting stuff. I agree, 100%. Looking forward to it. That was fast. Spooky. That was also exciting stuff. Exciting stuff I didn't want to deal with. We'll do this approach. Yeah, so we are going to get a revamped cougar that's going to feature, well, it's going to act more like the other animals, I guess. That's exciting, but also more dangerous. Looking forward to a little base redecoration ability. Kind of curious when they say any interior space that has a load screen, does that include caves or is it only structures? Oh, the Suzuki telescope, yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm excited. Excited for the new regions, excited for all this other cool stuff.
Goddamn freezing.
See a bear? I don't see a bear. Oh, and mines. Yeah, and they say it might be bigger, even bigger than some of the other regions that we've had so far. And some of them have been pretty big, so... yeah, excited.
Can you eat trees? Because I'm gonna eat a tree.
Ooh, that's very true. They don't have loading screens. Does it mean that you can't redecorate the hangar? Actually, no, you can redecorate the hangar. You can't redecorate other parts? Is that right? Most of the like houses on the islands, things like that, yeah, I think that's true. You can't redecorate them. And then a whole refresh on all the wildlife. That's going to be exciting too. With potentially new behaviors. We'll see how that works out. Oh, Friday's so close. Can't decorate the camp, transfer pass station, or any of the sundered pass buildings. Yeah, that would be true. True, yeah. But you could do stuff in Airfield. Not all of it, just some of the places in Airfield you could do. Nope, Mr. Wolf. Go away, Mr. Wolf. Yeah, all the cottages you can't do.
God, I could eat a horse.
But nonetheless, I think it's going to be fun. It'll be cool to have that as an option. Apparently we'll be able to make some custom furniture as well, and a few other things. Still not certain what to think of the trader. I'm not certain if I'll play with that mechanic. I'll probably give it a try, see what I think. Okay, so big question. Are we going to Mystery Lake or are we going to Pleasant Valley? Our destination is where? Oh, we don't even have it down. I think it's Black Rock. Right? Destination Black Rock, that's what it says. So at some point we should go to... We've already been here. I don't think there's a hammer here, but we'll check anyways. Did the hammer mysteriously appear? No.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Just warm up here for a second. How much firewood do we have? 8, and we have some coal. Let's use some coal. Ooh, that's true. Bricklayers wouldn't be usable. Mountaineers? Not really. Interesting.
I've never felt felt so cold in my life.
So one of my goals for the next couple weeks is at some point I need to introduce my roommate to the Princess Bride, which she has never seen. I was like, how is that even possible? But apparently people growing up these
Drop any
days.
of this gear. Die if I don't get some food soon.
Okay, what do we want? We want to some teas. Okay, we can do a little bit more. Oh, really? Interesting. Anything in particular that was different? Mystery Lake, Pleasant Valley. If we go to Mystery Lake, we're closer to getting to Forlorn Muskeg, the Forge. And there's a better chance of a bedroll. Yeah, I think that's what we do. Oh, that was not good. Just the extras in the documentary? Okay, so, yeah. Yeah, I think someone's seen it for the first time is probably not gonna need all the extras. Bad move. Spidey Astrid. Rappel off the wall. But yeah, that's a whole bunch of pop culture references that are passing by. At a meeting earlier today, a Zoom call with one of the professors I'm interviewing for a project I'm doing. We were talking about speculative fiction and what's being taught and how the library supports or doesn't support it, like what kind of things could be added. Yeah, commiserating about those moments when you make reference to something in a classroom environment and then you realize that none of the students were alive for that reference. It's like, they're like, it didn't feel that long ago, but I guess it was. It was a while ago. Hmm. But yeah, I've been thinking about like movies that I consider staples, like just things that you probably should be familiar with, and a lot of people aren't anymore. Like I feel like Monty Python, Quest for the Holy Grail, and The Princess Bride, and I'm trying to think of some other ones that... The Goonies, I figure at some point you should have seen The Goonies. The Indiana Jones movies. The original Star Trek movies. But really it's like The Princess Bride, Casablanca, and yeah, Casablanca, Princess Bride. Tried to get me when I was coming around a corner, but you didn't get me. Nice try, buddy. It's going to be worse with the cougar, because the cougar is not going to bark, it's just going to pounce. That's what terrifies me. Come around a corner, it'll be perched somewhere, and it'll just leap down and get us. Oh, you do hear it? Do you hear it in the new version? Does it purr just before it kills you? Growl slightly? Okay, we are still without a bedroll. Yeah, there will be marks. Yeah, I think we're going to try to power through this and get to the other side. All over the Mystery Lake. Got a long ways to go. I don't know if it's doable. Like, we have to go all the way through... How much cloth do we have? Yeah, we can make a snow shelter. But I don't like this. I don't like having half the day gone already. We're going to stay in the trailer. Yeah, if we stay in the trailer... First thing in the morning, we blaze all the way through the ravine Actually, you know what? I keep thinking it's a different thing. Okay. We're not, no, we're not going through Winding River. We're fine. We can make this. This is doable. Okay, we're going to force ourselves through. It's not like we have to go through Winding River and have to navigate all the way through. Coming through this way. You know, I actually have not gone and watched any of the clips of people fighting the cougar. I probably should do that at some point. Ugh. Just like at some point I should actually play through the tails. Do all the little scavenger hunt things that you have to do.
Man, this pack is getting kind of heavy. Come on, little fire. Perfect.
Okay. We're all together now. Rock and roll.
So hungry.
Should be food here. What? What? Usually there's a campfire with food. You guys are stingy. Why is it hanging out here? Oh, that was terribly inconvenient. Do we turn back? It's a long ways to go. No, I think we press forward. There's no more food here.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
Hammer's here. There's just no food. Okay. Move on. Don't get hung up on this. We still don't have a bedroll. We still need the bedroll. I should demand. Astrid wants to speak to the manager. How dare you? Relocate the merchandise to this really obscure corner of the map. When you're done with the hammer, you should return it to the Kwanzaa. You should just leave it in a random cave in the middle of this area. What is wrong with you guys? No, I'd love to stay and eat, but we have to get out of here before we start. There's still a lot to do. We still have to go check out the other cave, and we have to go check out the train. Still have some cattails to pick up. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, there's rope to climb down there if we want to.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
How many saplings do we have now? We have 5 birch. Do we need more? Maybe. Maybe eventually.
Come on, little fire. Come on.
Oh, welcome in, lurkers. I'm Babbaginator. I stream Long Dark, and we are in the middle of an interloper run with a little bit of a twist. Not much, really. It's a little more chaotic. We at the start of the run, we spun a wheel that told us which region was going to be our last region to go to. So our destination region is one of our least favorites, Black Rock. But in order to get to Black Rock, we are going to need a lot better equipment. We're going to need a bow. We're going to need arrows. We need to have weapons, a knife, and a hatchet. In other words, we need to forge, and we just barely found our hammer. still have no bedroll. So those are things holding us back. Ugh. Wonder if we should just sneak out first and then come back in to loot later. Go and rest, dump all our stuff, rest. In the morning, come back, loot the rest of this. Sounds like a plan. It's just Laszlo. Okay. Not just Laszlo. Oh boy. I was talking to my roommate earlier this week about the fact that my strategic fashion plan at the start of my degree was to
I can barely walk with this much gear.
stock up on a bunch of T-shirts that featured D&D or RPG and cat references, preferably together, and then thus cement in people's minds a particular, like clearly communicate what type of thing, what kind of person I was, right? But I have since realized this has also created a bit of a trap fashion-wise for me, because now people expect me to wear those T-shirts all the time. I was like, this is a little bit limiting. What if, like, some days I don't want to wear? I mean, I like them; they're comfortable. But what if I do want to dress up a little bit? So I have to start thinking about, like, how do I wean myself and my classmates off of this idea that I only wear cat T-shirts and role-playing game T-shirts. And likewise, how do I get myself to... Like, I seem to only have two modes most of the time. There's
This will come in handy.
the T-shirt mode, or there's the suit mode, and then in between, I struggle a lot. I usually feel pretty confident with myself in a suit, and I am quite comfortable just being in T-shirt and jeans. But sometimes you need to look presentable without looking overdressed.
I need something to eat. I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
There's a bedroll here, we just can't take it.
I could use this.
I am not a shorts guy in winter, actually. I mean, I wear them around the house, but I was also telling my roommate it's something that I don't always feel confident enough to wear shorts outside. It's not like I've got... I don't think I have, like, bad-looking legs. I think I'm just self-conscious about the fact that kind of furry legs. Okay, I think we're just going to crash here. Okay, let us dump all our stuff here.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Oh, I should have cooked those. Oh, well. Yeah, part of my struggle, I think, is that physically I have a long torso. Like, sort of like my body
Find something to eat.
has a long torso, which throws off proportions in a lot of things. So, like, the general recommendation is that if you have a long torso, you should be wearing high-waisted pants. It's just that no one makes high-waisted pants anymore.
Tired.
It's just not a thing. So can't do that. Then you have to dress in layers. And in the summertime, it's just really not conducive to do that. Or you do a monochrome look, which again it's monochrome, which gets kind of boring some of the time. So. And then try to find things that match your skin tone so they look good on you and don't wash you out in some way. Also complicated. It's why, like, so many people, so many guys just defer back to t-shirt and jeans. It's really hard to mess that up. Oh, look at us, full recovery.
Man, all I can think about is food. I'm starving. This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
What is that? There was an article about shorts guys where the psychologists said they wear shorts to make a statement and express themselves in a unique way. It sets them apart from others and makes them memorable, reinforcing their sense of individuality. It's kind of a circular argument, isn't it? Once they develop a reputation for wearing shorts year-round, they might continue to do so to avoid cognitive dissonance. So I can see that. So having established that as a pattern. Yeah. Now they're kind of trapped by it too, though, right? Okay, we're gonna move our stuff into the mine, or not mine, into the dam. It's close to the workbench. Let's search the dam for useful items. Like a bedroll.
I gotta eat soon.
You were a shorts guy for years. Yeah, I just... I don't know. I can only do it around the house. I can't really wear it outside. I think, like, if it were really hot all the time,
I'm not
maybe
gonna be
I'd
able to
start
carry this
thinking about
load
it
for
again.
much longer.
But even when I was in Saskatchewan in the summertime, I never really went all shorts. Yeah, I mean, if it makes sense practically, then you kind of convince yourself that that's the way to go. It may not take that much convincing. You wore them year-round? Huh.
Perfect. Well, this stuff will come in handy.
Should we take it? Yeah, I mean, part of why I kind of got used to wearing t-shirts was because working in the games industry,
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
you often attended conferences or conventions where they were handing out a lot of t-shirts, and then you would say, hey, I don't have to buy any more clothes. I can just pick up t-shirts all the time.
I could use this.
Ooh, 90% is nicer than the one I have. Yeah, so I mean, like, free t-shirts is pretty convincing. And if you're too busy to really worry about a social life in terms of, like, needing to dress to impress, you know, you just take your free t-shirts and go. At least that's what the culture was like back then. Ooh. Between those and the band shirts, yeah, I mean, they're comfortable. And if you're getting it discount or free, you know, it's a simple wardrobe.
Thank you.
Look at that. Got our second box of crackers. Look at us. Look at us. Second box of crackers.
I'll take it.
Oh, that was short. Oop. was easy. And disappointing. Easy and disappointing. Not a great combo. Oh, we can't even stay, right?
Wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Our best chance for a bedroll here is probably going to be camp office. Too windy.
Come on, little fire.
Oh, the wolf is out.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Not good. Oh, manager's finally here. Let's complain to the manager. Somehow I don't think the manager's bark is worse than his bite. I think his bite is pretty bad. Always a critic. Okay. Okay, let's go get stuff.
I need to find some place to escape this cold.
Okay, where are you, Mr. Wolf? Yeah, that's right. Have second thoughts now. You come bother me? So what's the goal this time? For Mystery Lake, it's to find bedroll. We found the hammer in the ravine, which was not where we were expecting it. It threw a wrinkle into the plan. So I think we want to get through Mystery Lake as quickly as we can, hopefully finding the bedroll at the camp office or a couple other spots, and then go right to Forlorn Muskeg and get ourselves a good pile of arrowheads and knives and craft a bow. Misty Falls, Pleasant Valley, not guaranteed. Yeah, we spawned in Desolation Point. We struck out completely. No bedroll anywhere in Desolation Point. No bedroll anywhere in Coastal Highway. So yeah, we completely struck out.
Warm him up soon.
Which means we were traveling without a bedroll, which is not fun. Yeah. It happens occasionally. You get one of these spawns where you just don't get anything for a long time. Yeah. Like the worst one, Goofish, the worst one we had was when I was attempting Misery for the first time in Misery mode. I ended up with a 41-day run, survived 41 days, in which we never found the bedroll. And we also never finished crafting the bow. So we did eventually forge late, and by the end of it, we were just so exhausted that we were unable to, and so hungry that we ended up starving to death before we were able to finish crafting the bow. We were on the last half hour to craft the bow and we died. That was sad. But 41 days, no bedroll and no cooking, or no, what can I say? No hunting. No hunting, no bedroll. 41 days. In misery. So, I guess I could be proud of that. Misery is hard enough without adding in the problem of not having a bedroll and not having a bow. Yeah, I started off in Stalker. And for a long time I was satisfied with Stalker. And it wasn't until, about 3 years ago, I guess, I started watching streamers, both new and established ones, and they were playing Interloper, and I kept thinking, it looks really hard, really, really hard. I wonder if I would be able to do that. And then I tried a few times and I failed abysmally, and I was like, maybe it's not for me. But then I watched and experimented a little bit more, and I thought, well, Stalker is starting to lose interest for me. I need to try something else. So I thought, well, I could start streaming. At least I can have people, can commiserate with other people. And you really don't need anything else, you just want food. Yeah. So nowadays I play mostly Interloper. I've gotten a lot better. Whoa, Deadpool with the raid. That's the reverse. Usually we're raiding you. Well, thanks for the raid. I'll give you a shout out.
You don't think it'll burn you?
What if I just I take okay, hear me out.
Oh boy. This never ends well.
No, but we're ready. We're ready.
Just get a pint of ice cream, shove your hand into it, just fist right into it, right? And then you just dunk it in, and then you pull it out, and then you just eat it like your hand is a stick.
What are you fucking deep?
I feel like this out of context could be very strange.
Oh, completely. I'm assuming people are clipping.
You know you're only gonna get a small layer, right?
Hey, welcome in Deadpool. Okay, hear you out. Yeah, that's always gonna be a little scary now. Yeah. We're traipsing around Great Bear, wandering around, wondering why we can't find a bedroll. We found the hammer in the ravine, which I don't think I realized you could find the hammer in the ravine. So it was just tucked away in one of the caves, and it was like, there's a hammer here. We went all through Desolation Point and Coastal Highway, no hammer. And I come out here on our way to Mystery Lake, and we find the hammer in the ravine. And then we look back and think, should we go and try to work our way all the way back to Desolation Point? No. Experience has told me that once you have been through a region twice without a bow, you have consumed almost everything that is edible. And returning without the means of feeding yourself is guaranteed to cost you more than you'll gain. So even if it's familiar, it's going to be an expense that you can't pay. Somewhere out here there's a wolf that wants to say hi. We let him bark and say hi. Unless he got swallowed up by the mist. Nope, there he is. He wants to say hi. Hello. Thursday. It's Thursday, almost Friday. We're almost at the tail end of things. We got about another half hour on this stream, I think. I'm tempted to stay up later, but I actually do have to be up
This
until
pack
8.
is getting too heavy to carry.
Friday, I have one class in the morning, but it's one that always requires extra reading. Always makes me sleepy. As it turns out, I don't really want to study the management of information organizations, which is basically an intro to business management class. Writing business communication stuff is tedious. No joy. No joy in writing vision statements and mission statements. If I was really clever, I would have turned in for the vision mission state exercise a little nod towards Magritte, the artist who famously painted a pipe and then put a sign on it that said, "This is not a pipe." And I could say, "This is not a vision statement." It is only a representation of a vision statement, but in and of itself, it has no vision. So, Deadpool, folks, if you're new to this stream, I am Babbaginator. I stream Long Dark, as you probably gathered. I am a Canadian streamer based in Vancouver, BC. I'm a writer. I'm a former computer games programmer. Nothing exciting. I just worked on educational games and children's entertainment for for about 5 years. And there's a chance that some people in the audience have actually played games that I worked on. If your parents ever forced you to play something that was a grade-based learning product like Jumpstart, and I worked on a lot of Jumpstart stuff. I also worked on Fisher-Price, Imaginext, Knights and Castles, and Pirate Raiders. I also worked on, my last one was working on, what was it? Oh, for Mattel, it was Barbie Princess and the Pauper. Yay, that's when I knew we were really far away from educational software. It's like, okay, now we're just getting paid to do whatever. But yeah. He's up here somewhere. You know what would be funny is sometime maybe I should do a stream where I stream myself playing one of the games that I worked on. I would do Pirate Raider. I think that's my favorite of them. But it's such a repetitive game that After a few rounds, you probably are bored stiff. I mean, there's a larger narrative, and you do get to build out your ship and other things like that, and add more cannons and stuff like that.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
But yeah, in addition to being a computer programmer, I'm also a published author of 2 books of poetry, and also teach creative writing sometimes. Currently back in school doing a master's in library and information science. I'm a professional librarian. But yeah, I think maybe we'll do that. I don't think I'd do like a long playthrough of it, because like I said, it's not particularly, you know, it's basically a set of activities that it rotates through, and the story kind of like guides you through them as to why you have to go and raid a fort, or why you have to go yeah, if you raid a fort, or like have to shoot down the you have to attack the pirate ships. I also need to finish working on my interactive fiction games. No, we don't really need that either.
I am not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, we've got a long walk ahead of us in the morning, so we're going to just leave it. Yeah, I think if anyone's interested in playing Pirate Raider, let's see, I think it's archived on Internet Archive. Oh, Internet Archive is still waiting to be fully restored after that big hack. So Wayback is up, Archive It is up, Blog Archive resumed, but I don't think they have. Yeah, you can't download it yet. So yeah, that part's not ready yet. Yeah, so I can't really do that for a while until they've restored everything. I think what else we could do. I do want to go back and finish working on my interactive fiction games. And recently I started corresponding with someone that corresponding old-fashioned for emailing people. Yeah, so anyways, I went to a poetry event a couple weeks ago at a literary festival in Vancouver, and one of the events I went to, there was a number of people who were doing chapbooks, short, mini, like this size book, really. You know, you can either self-publish like this one, or you can have it formally published by a chapbook press. And so I went to an event where there was like these nicely designed chapbooks, and the poets that were responsible for written the poems. And so they're reading from their chapbook collections, and then talking about, why a chapbook versus a full-length book, and a few other things. It was an interesting conversation, a panel. But one of the panelists was a poet who works in the heavy machinery industry. So I think works in the office, but I'm not positive. Maybe does logistics or something like that. So a poet who writes about that industry, which is an unusual combination. And it reminded me of like my own I felt some sort of empathy, because I felt like, I had the same experiences writing about the computer industry, programmers and programming languages. Rethinking that in terms of poetry. And so we kind of bonded over that. And then just like a couple days ago, she sent me an email that she went to my website and found the section on games, and saw my played through my earlier Twine game, The Cave, and really enjoyed it, and so wanted to know if I had other games to play. So it was like, okay. But like all the other ones are like not finished, so I was like, well, you're welcome to give these two a try. One of them's like not finished, and I don't know if I'll get back to finishing it. I want to, but it was written with an earlier version of Twine, and I'd probably do a lot of things differently. It may require like a major rewrite in order to make it work. And so like that one, I think might just get stalled in its present state, or I'll have to go back in and rewrite the whole thing. And the other one is my very ambitious Into the Dark Woods, which some of you have seen me working on before. I am trying to carve out time to work on it again, but it's a little bit tricky because I have a very busy schedule this term, so may have to wait a little bit. But I think I have made the decision that I am going to I'm going to delay my graduation until the end of summer. And the reason for that is really a couple. One, like after this term of doing 4 courses, I kind of feel like I really don't want to do 4 courses. I want to do 3 courses. And because I'm working 20 plus hours a week, so it's just a lot to balance. And then I think the other part is that the market right now for librarians in Canada is less than ideal. It's a little sluggish. Not as many good openings right now. Not things that I have a lot of good, I fit well with. I could fit well as sort of a generalist, but not in the particular areas that they're looking for. Like people who have a medical background in library science, like they're trained for working with medical data, or they're trained for working with some other types of data that's not really my interest or my forte. So so I think it's if I stay put with the job that I have, and it gives me sort of the security of, one, I can benefit from my student loans and from student support or university support through the summer, and then continue with my job after graduation, while conducting a job search, while also fostering the connections and the networking I need within the university to perhaps even convince them to find the money to have me hired full-time. They want to hire me. There's just problem of like the timeline to do so, and the current larger university strategy discussions. They're like in these every few years they have these big strategy discussions, and they're in the middle of that, and they're almost at the end of it, but the conclusion of that could translate into money to hire me. And if I finish up too soon, I could end up in a situation where they want to hire me, they can't hire me immediately, then I would have to leave and then have to come back, and I don't really want to do that. So yeah, it's all kind of, nor do I want to depend on them either. So I'm not waiting necessarily just for that, but I want to put myself in the best possible position. Plus, I like where I live right now. I don't mind living here for a little bit longer.
Man, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
Okay. Too cold. Way too cold to go up. Okay. What do we got here? I think we grab all our stuff here and we go down to okay, let's get all our stuff out of here, take it to the camp office. Yeah. I toyed with the idea of going back to the game industry as a digital asset librarian at one point, but I entertained that idea for like maybe 5 minutes and realized now I don't really want to do that. Like, I left the industry. I don't really want to go back. I want to be on the periphery.
This
I
pack
like
is getting too heavy to carry.
games. I like working on games. I do not love the culture of overtime. I do not love the verbal, emotional, psychological abuse that some managers use in order to squeeze every last bit of life out of their staff. Yeah, not for me. I do not like being told that I'm a cog in a machine that can be replaced at any point in time. I should just be happy that I can be here suffering. It's like, yeah. It was a really toxic relationship. That's really what it was. Really bad, really toxic. Not the type of experience you want anyone else to have. So we're going to bank on the fact that camp office should have a bedroll, but there's not a guarantee. Worst case scenario, maybe trappers will have a bedroll. Or it might be hidden somewhere else on the map. And there's a couple other spots to the side or further away. But we're going to hope for camp office. Otherwise, it means we have to march all the way. We have to climb up ropes, we have to do other stuff.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
But, yeah, we're probably going to go for another 10, 15 minutes or so. Then what we'll do, as is our custom, we will close with a poem. We'll randomly choose something to read a poem, and then we will find someone to raid. But since Deadpool is already wrapped up for the night, we'll have to find someone else. Ooh. So far, I've not fallen asleep on this. I'm yawning a lot, but I haven't fallen asleep on stream yet. So. Not yet. Not for this stream. There have been a few nights. A few months ago, I was so exhausted I would nod off in the middle. I still kind of nod off a little bit every so often. But I think my energy levels have been better. Since August, I've been forcing myself to spend 20 minutes every morning exercising. And then I've been mostly cardiovascular stuff. Just modified kickboxing routine that has a warm-up and a cool down. It only takes 20 minutes of time.
Sure getting cold.
And, you know, I add some wrist weights or ankle weights for a little bit extra resistance, and that seems to be doing the trick. Now, generally speaking, I have a fair bit of energy. But once it gets past 11 o'clock my time, which it's getting close to, my energy reserves start to tap out, and it's time to go to bed. Welcome to getting old. It's like no more 3 a.m. Okay, I have done a few of those still, but I really shouldn't be doing 3 a.m. like up until 3 a.m.
so cold.
nights. Okay. We go full random, or should we pick something for tonight, poetry-wise? Practical gunsmithing. So tomorrow night I am not on because it's Friday night and it is D&D night for me. And on Saturday I will probably be on. I don't know yet. I'm trying to give myself room in my life to have a few nights to do social activities beyond just D&D. I mean, I like D&D, but yeah. Like, whether that translates to me going out to do a literary event somewhere in the city, or it translates into a dinner party, or it translates into, you know, movie night. I do feel like it's important to have some variety in social experiences, you know, right now. Otherwise, it's all staring into the void of like, what's next? What am I doing? Or staring at the assignments that are coming up and thinking, how am I supposed to accomplish these things? Depressing stuff. Yeah. You gotta value your life. You gotta do what you can in the time that you have. Been thinking about this a lot. This week has been kind of a hard week, honestly. One of the people I grew up with, younger than me by a number of years.
I need to find food.
But his father was my scoutmaster, and he just passed away earlier this week from cancer. Pancreatic cancer. Just a week ago gets the diagnosis, I think, and it's like too far gone, nothing they can do, and now he's gone. And then earlier today I found out that a poet that I know, older, you know, maybe about like 5-10 years older than me, also passed away. Yep. But he'd been in bad health, you know, he had complications from his diabetes. I think he'd lost a leg recently, a couple years ago, and a few other things like that. So, It was a challenging time for him, so I do hope that, yeah.
Come on,
It's
little
tough.
fire.
I think for poets, you know, we spend a lot of time reading each other's work, and often we are deeply moved and impacted by the things that other people write. And you feel like you're really close to them, even if you haven't spent like tons and tons of time together. You spend lots of time with their work, you feel like you've gotten to know them somewhat, at least the version of them that's in the poem. And then you discover that they're not going to write anything else because they're gone. So there ends the unfinished, well, what they set out to write. You know, their life's work of poetry, wrestling with the big human questions. Like all of us, we're gonna finish out with some unfinished questions. And just the words linger on behind us and the impact that they had on people's lives. Okay, we're almost there, folks. We are so close to shelter. Okay. We do have these guys. Let's use these. Okay, there better be a bedroll on the other side once we get over there. Really have to check out this train car. We're also out of sewing kits, which is annoying. So we have repairs and clothing we'd like to make. But we might just have to make fishing tackle to do that. Anyways, getting ready to wrap up here soon. Maybe we'll do two poems tonight. Maybe I'll read something from the poet that passed away earlier this week. Nick Carbo, Filipino American poet. Really lovely person. Very warm, very kind, very supportive of other writers. We'll do a quick look around and see if we can find something. And then read something down. And then we'll be done for the evening. And we'll pick up Astrid's journey most likely Sunday? No. Yeah, so if I can, it might be Saturday, otherwise it will be Monday night. And resume our adventure. This is arguably one of the more boring challenges that I've set out to do, but I did some really like messy, complicated ones in the past, and I kind of wanted a little breather. And this one, the challenge really is emerging that we're just going to, we haven't really made it to 41 days, but I wonder if we could do that. 50 days with no bedroll. 50 days. I mean, AV, Acidic Virus, has done, like, keg stand runs in Forlorn Muskeg, where you don't get a bedroll, right? So you just, the whole time is without a bedroll. And he's done definitely over 50, I think like around, 200 days there. Like, with no bow and no bedroll. Just living off of tricking wolves into killing things. Vintage Story, Vintage Story. Oh, okay, Vintage Story is a separate game, not... I was like, Vintage Story mode. No, you guys, we really want to take your feathers. Yeah, I know Timmy was doing the Wolf Wrangler run. They fly away. They flew away, didn't they? Just because I threw the torch. Curses.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay. Hook. Honestly, there's what I probably should do. Put all the guts in. Okay. All the guts. Leave two. Move these over. And then put the rest down here. And then got all these guys. Okay, what have we got here? Salt. Finally, a fry pan. We can cook some other stuff. We should get the pot here too.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Get the flour, coffee. potato. Potato. Roll over there. No corpse.
I need to find food.
Man, there's like nothing here. Okay, let's cook up the potatoes. The bannock is tempting too, but... Okay.
I could eat anything.
Okay.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Oh! It didn't cook all the way. That's good enough though. We can still use these guys. Okay. Okay, time for some sleep for Astrid. Okay. Almost done here for the night. Just want to get ourselves to the morning. Okay.
I am not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, let's see. Where are we at now? We are on day 16. Okay, let's read a poem here. See if we can find something from Nick Carbo. Let's see. Okay, Here we go. Something from Nick Carbo. For my friend who complains he can't dance and has a severe case of writer's block, then take this tambourine inside the sheep barn. Listen to the anaconda's intestines, the shark's walking stick. Learn the river insect's secret, neon calligraphy. Swim through Frida Kahlo's hair and come out smelling like orchids. Lift your appetite towards the certified blue turtle. Feast on Garcia Lorca's leather shoes and taste the sun, the worms of Andalusia. Don't hesitate in front of a donut, a Ferris wheel, the Crab Nebula. Excavate diamond-eyed demons, Chaucer's liver, Minoan helmets. Paste Anne Sexton's face on $1,000 bill and purchase a dozen metaphors. Beware of the absolute scorpion, the iguana with the limping leg. Permit indwelling. White words outside around the eyes, the confrontation of windows. Never feed your towel to the alligator. He will eat you and eat you and eat you. Really silly poem, but there's a range to what that Nick could do, and humor was part of that, but so was a lot of reflection and introspection into, you know, existing as a Filipino American poet and body in a primarily back then, because he's a little bit older than me, a primarily white literary space. Okay, so we're gonna read something else. We will go to our poem chooser initially, see if we get something good out of that. Approaching Infinity. Yeah, we could do that one. You know, one is oddly appropriate, so. This is the month of October, which is also my father's birthday, and would have been this year his 77th birthday. He passed away back in 2007. And so every year about this time, I'm also thinking about my father. And so let's see what we can offer out of this one. Okay. Approaching infinity. Pre-calculus, we considered the limits of things, tried to determine what value an expression held at any given point in time. Watch the arc, the trajectory, the slope of the line, the teacher would say. We'd nod, look both ways, observe where it had been, where it was headed, what to do when it broke down, failed to arrive. Nothing over nothing. What to make of infinity spread wide over the world, over the void, over an unknown field. This year, my father approaches 60 again, as he has every year for the past decade. His body, a void within a void, a scattering of variables they could not solve in time. From where we stand, the future remains an unworkable approximation. The pencils grow silent. I hear geese far above us winding their way south. If I turned my head just right, I might see my father now, a thin shadow trembling at the edge of view, that almost imperceptible hesitation before the second hand moves, before this moment is carried into the next, the sky inching towards the night, the space between us, the distance from one dying star to another. Okay. That was Approaching Infinity. A little behind the poem. I wrote this poem inspired, well, obviously thinking about my father and thinking about sort of the way in which he is now fixed in time, always approaching 60, but never getting there. And it reminded me of a class I took. Okay, full confession. I took the class twice. As an undergraduate, I sometimes overextended myself and sometimes was very stubborn about classes I took. I had been very good and very strong in math for the most part, but I was hitting my own personal limits. I was taking a class called Boundary Value Problems, differential equation, partial differential equation theory, boundary value problems. So basically it looked at partial differential equations that were used for modeling different situations, usually mechanical environments or scenarios, but sometimes, you know, had to do with temperature, other things like that. And in this class of equations, you could often get into, not often, but sometimes get into a situation where you would end up with a 0 over 0. Like if you plugged in tried to evaluate the function at a particular point, you would actually end up, it's multivariable, so you have a lot of different variables in there. You could end up in a situation where they end up creating a 0 over 0, which is an undefined situation. So the class is really about how to solve situations that, understand what's happening in the equation by understanding its context, to see where the equation is headed from one direction and where it's headed from the other direction. Then based on that information, trying to approximate what the outcome would be. Is it going towards 0? Is it going towards negative infinity, positive infinity? What exactly is happening in this moment? And so you have to, use a number of different tricks to kind of, find a different way to break down the equation and understand what's happening. My father was, when I was 32, turning 33, he was 59. And he became quite unexpectedly clumsy and then ill. Like there was something going wrong with the body, and we didn't know what was happening. But what was happening was he had ALS, he had Lou Gehrig's disease. So his body was shutting down. And so at first it's just the electrical signals get corrupted. They don't work right. So like sending messages from the brain to the extremities starts to run into problems and things don't behave properly. And so you end up like with your hands not working as well as they used to, and you get clumsy with your feet, and your speech becomes a little bit slurred. And then it just keeps going, and things stop communicating until eventually you are a mind trapped inside of a body that won't listen anymore. And that's basically what happened to him. And you're waiting for different organs to stop. They'll just stop working because the signals don't get there. And so that's what was happening with him. And so in many ways, his passing was a relief, because he was a prisoner in his own body by the end. But it was still hard. I still miss him. So that's kind of the origin of the poem. A mixture of my own math anxieties and of unsolvable problems and of losing your father, earlier than you expected, and at an age that feels symbolic. It's just like, and here he was approaching 60, but never quite getting there. I hope you treasure your relationships with your family members while you have them. A little bit of a sober thought, but it's October, and I want to remember my father. So glad that was the one that showed up. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. We're going to find someone to raid. So hold on a second here. We'll just do the standard step in, step out, so we get the save recorded. Okay, we're saved. Officially saved. Let's go find someone to raid. And then I'm going to sleep because I have to wake up early. Actually, I say I'm going to sleep, but actually what I have to do is I'll have to stay up for probably another half an hour reading for my class. Chimi's doing a brand new Wolf Wrangler. That seems like that. Oh, let's see. We could go raid Rolling 117 again. Ooh, what's it? Anyone else that we haven't raided in a while? Okay, Rolling 117 only has 3 viewers. Let's go support them. Yeah. Or Chimi. Who do you think we should go visit? Actually, let's go with Chimi. It's been a little bit of while since we last time raided, so let's do Chimi. And then we'll drop in on Rolling some other time. Okay, let's get this raid off and ready. Thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. Off we go. Thank you all. Take care. Back again either Saturday or Monday. We'll see which one.